friends, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today I want to talk about the future of the hero's journey. Now, Luke's journey is coming to a close. We only have a few more days, maybe a day or so, until the actual event ends, and it has been, from what we've seen so far, very well received. The devs have said that over 200,000 Holo Table players have begun the journey, and probably many more since they initially launched that or made that statement about a week ago. And it just leads me to believe that they're going to continue this type of event over and over and over again. It's especially since it's been so successful. Now, with that, we are left to speculate what is coming next. Now, I have done some research. I've looked into different story arcs that could fit into the overall gameplay, and it would be interesting to see, and I've done some speculation, like I've said, and I have come up with 6 possible hero journey events that we are going to see, or we could see in the future of this game. And starting off with number 6, the Luke's journey continued would take Luke from Dagobah to the destruction of the second Death Star. Now, this would allow us to have Return of the Jedi Luke. It would put him through different training. It would also have Hermit Yoda introduced, where we would have Hermit Yoda and he would train him, and then we'd go through some different things, and he'd have his initial battle against Vader or against himself. Then he would continue on, and the final battle would be between him and Vader, with Vader ultimately switching sides and Luke, winning out. So that would be kind of cool. Whether or not it actually happens, I think it's likely to happen because people have craved the Return of the Jedi Luke, for something about that all black, very pre-emo Luke that people love. But I think that's very possible. A very close number 5 would be Rey's Jedi journey. Now, this would take Rey from Jakku all the way to meeting Luke, and quite possibly beyond. It would really depend on what we see with her character. I do think we're going to get something like this probably around December, would be my guess. I think that they're gonna have to do something with the game there. Or the game, correlating with the movie. But I think it would be interesting to finally give Rey a lightsaber. I think we're going to see a number of different Rey versions, or versions of Rey, but I think that this could be the next one. I kind of hope that it is. I really like Rey. I'm excited to see where her story goes, and it would be a lot of fun to have that go on. Now, the next one, again, it's more speculative than anything else, but it is Inferno Squad. Now, for those of you who don't know what Inferno Squad is the elite group of Imperial agents that go around and just destroy all rebels and rebellion and dissidents and all that other junk. There was a book that came out, Inferno Squad. They are the main protagonists in the video game that is set to release in October, Battlefront 2. Now, for those of you who don't know what Battlefront 2 is, then you are missing out, because this game looks amazing. But Inferno Squad is going to be one of those characters that I think would be a great cross-promotional opportunity for EA, because Battlefront 2 is an EA game, and so it would make sense for them to do that here. Now, part of the reason that I'm hesitant to say that we're going to actually see an Inferno Squad event or a hero's journey following Iden Versio, the leader of the Inferno Squad, is because the game Battlefront 2 launches in October, and that is around the same time that as we got characters for Rogue One last year, and then The Force Awakens the year before. And so I'm thinking that we are likely to get characters or new Toons or stuff or new events surrounding The Last Jedi before we get stuff for Inferno Squad. Now, the next one on our list, number 3, and this would be kind of interesting for me, this is one of those that I really like, is what I like to call Joining the Rebellion. And it would follow the hero's journey of Agent Kallus from the Star Wars TV show Rebels. Now, if you've not seen Star Wars Rebels and you want to, pause the video. Spoiler alert coming, you've been warned. But Agent Kallus starts off as one of the main antagonists of the show, and he is an Imperial agent working for the ISB who goes about and tries to thwart the Phoenix Squad, right? And you should all be familiar with who the Phoenix Squad is at this point. But he's their main protagonist. Throughout the story, however, he becomes more sympathetic, or increasingly sympathetic, towards the rebellion, specifically towards the Phoenix Squadron, until he ultimately joins the rebellion and acts as a double agent. Now, it would be interesting to see that story play out. Now, again, one of the reasons why I think that he is less likely, this story is less likely to happen, although it would be really cool, is because he's not a very well-known character. He's definitely not one of the main canon, but I just don't think that people would have the interest for an Agent Kallus as they would for, like we've seen, Jedi Luke. My next one, my number 2, is one that I think that would be cool to see, but again, I don't necessarily know how it would play out. But I would love to see the Separatist faction as a whole completely overhauled. I would love to see just a regular basic battle droid. I would love to see droidicas. I would love to see any number of a dozen other droid characters in the game. We don't have a ton of them, and we definitely don't have a very solid Separatist team. They're not the smallest team in existence, but they're still not the largest. And I'd like to see more and more of them. We do know that a rework is scheduled. We don't know when the rework is coming, but it is on the books. It is in the calendar. And so it would be kind of cool to see a story that revolved around the Separatist group, specifically Dooku. That would just be a lot of fun. Now, my final character, my final hero's journey, and I use heroes in quotations here, is actually the introduction around Mother Talzin for the Night Sisters. Again, this would surround the Night Sisters rework. It would tell the story of Darth Maul after Savage Press has, uncovered him and found him again. And so it would show Savage's journey to save his brother, to infiltrate the Separatists, and then essentially it would be using Night Sisters to take on the Separatist faction, which at that time is, culminated in Palpatine and Sidious. And so that would be really cool in my mind to see how those worked out, to see that play out. Again, this would be more of a reintroduction for the rework than it would be anything else. I think that'd be really cool. The final battle in Star Wars Clone Wars between the Separatists and the Night Sisters was awesome, and the story doesn't end there. We do see Mother Talzin show back up in Star Wars Rebels. We see Maul show back up in Rebels. It would be sweet. Now, these are just the top 6 that I would like to see, and they're kind of in order, kind of not. What do you think? What stories would you like to see played out just like the legendary Luke Hero Journey event? Leave a comment in the section below. Subscribe to this channel. Like us. We appreciate your patronage. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.